First, thank you so much for all the invaluable experiences we had while working together. I've taken our research, the research of the greats and the ancients, and I have found the key.
Hey guys, what's going on? Chris here with Shughead Gaming, bringing you my review for Transference, developed by Ubisoft Montreal in collaboration with Spectre and releasing across all platforms. But this review, of course, will be covering the PSVR version. Estimated price is $35, and as always, that is depending on your region. Project yourself into the haunted mindscape of a test subject suffering from PTSD. Piece together their story by switching between multiple perspectives in a search for the truth. Repair their corrupted memories by solving mind-bending puzzles. This movie-quality project between two development studios seems primed for VR, but does it work? Let's find out. As always, guys, if you like this video, please hit that like button, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, you know the deal. Please consider subscribing, and for updates, hit that bell icon. As always, graphics are up first. Transference, developed in partial by Ubisoft, has some money backing it. The majority of the game has you navigating around a 3-story walk-up apartment building, with most of the game taking place in a small apartment and hallways. With these confined environments, the VR is free to shine, and Transference pulls off some of the best real-life visuals this side of Resident Evil 7 in Firewall 0 Hour. Textures here are sharp, vivid, and detailed, capturing the sense of really being in this twisted version of reality. Lighting really shines here and takes on a character all its own, really changing the feeling of different rooms and consciousnesses. The other co-developer, Spectre, founded by actor Elijah Wood, is very involved in the film industry, and their skill set can really be felt here, not only in the full-motion video woven throughout the narrative, but also, and most importantly, by the way in which they take their knowledge and experience and apply it into the game world. The result is a game that takes its graphic and lighting engine and creates a world that is genuinely creepy, unsettling, and authentic. This is fantastic work and really sets a benchmark for other thriller-type games to follow. Sound is up next.
Opus, get out of here! Have you seen my dog?
The quality seen on the graphic side of things carries through in the sound department. Throughout your travels in and out of rooms and across different consciousnesses, much is communicated to the player through sound. The sound design in Transference is key to finding and understanding puzzles, and a core component in how the game creates its sense of tension and confusion throughout the narrative. Audio and video files will be a common tool used in figuring out the mystery of what's happened to this family. Voice acting here is definitely above average. It won't win any Academy Awards, but it helps push the mystery narrative forward in a convincing way. Game music is used sparingly and almost always comes from an in-game source like a radio or a TV. This choice works fantastic for this game as it keeps the player grounded in the game world and makes it feel like a real place instead of a cinematic experience. There are a few moments where a repeating tune wouldn't end until I figured out a puzzle, and while this was irritating, I'm sure it was intentional in creating anxiety. Other world sound effects are done very well and help to fill in the silence with real-life nuances like creaks in the floorboards or the hum of electronics. These effects, along with the way the game uses music and voice work, all come together in a 3D audio package that really makes the world feel real, while sucking the player into the madness that exists in this building. And that brings us to gameplay. Transference is, at its core, an escape room puzzle game. The 2-hour campaign plays out like a tight psychological horror movie with a strong exploratory narrative. Once you enter the apartment building and the game teaches its simple pick up and drop controls, you are basically left unguided to figure out what happened to this family, and just what the scientist's father was actually messing around with. The bulk of the game takes place in a single apartment unit with light switches being used to switch to alternate takes on reality. This creates a maze of sorts, with some doors being open in one realm and locked in another, with sometimes a touch of crazy thrown in with doors opening into dead ends in different rooms altogether. Their narrative will be pushed forward by the player throughout the solving of puzzles and the slow reveal of what fate met this family. I'm not a puzzle gamer by any stretch, but I did appreciate that most puzzle elements were woven more organically into the world and story, and not just placed there to be a puzzle and to screw with you. Instead, puzzles work more like reveals and move the story forward. For example, in one reality, a radio may be off station, and you must switch to another reality to see what station it was originally tuned into. For in that reality, the radio was on. Switch back to the first reality, tune in the radio, and voila, the radio cuts in, and you are given another piece to the story, and as a result, a previously inaccessible door becomes open. Control-wise, things are pretty simple. You move through the world via full locomotion, and turning can be done in either click turning or smooth. You can crouch for low-hanging items, and you can pick up and hold and examine a single item at a time. That's it. There's no inventory system, no weapons, tools, or consumables. This is a game built around the story, and the controls are here to simply facilitate that. While I appreciated the option of smooth turning, an option to increase walking speed would have been welcomed. As such, the walking is excruciatingly slow and tedious, making Robinson's The Journey locomotion feel like a sprint in comparison. The game uses a DS4 for control, and unfortunately no move support, which would have been a nice addition. This game can be played seated with minimal space needed. Motion sickness should be at a minimum, as the walking speed along with optional click turning and blinders should facilitate even the weakest of stomachs. And that brings us to fun factor and my final review. Enjoyment of this game will very much depend on how you feel about puzzle games and psychological horror. I strongly dislike both of these, and as a result I found the game to be a chore. This, however, is purely my taste, and Transference remains a quality game with high production values. As you know, I rate games on a basis of buy, wait for a sale, or burn it to the ground. I'm not a big story guy either when it comes to my gaming tastes. I don't mind a strong story, but there has to be gameplay to complement it. Transference is very much an interactive psychological movie in the form of an escape room, and albeit a short but tight experience. I say wait for a sale. Even if this sounds like something you would enjoy, the fact is there just isn't that much here outside the story and simple puzzles. And this game starts to lean more on the experience side of things and less on the game side of things, with no replay value. And that just isn't worth the price of admission here. That's it for me, guys. As always, please hit that like button if you like this video, and if you want to see more PSVR content from me, please consider subscribing, and for updates, hit that bell icon. I will catch you guys on my next video.